32 seconds of waterlogged water logos. Oh, thank God. For a minute there, I thought this was going to be a movie about Deep Blue something. We'd have to sit through 100 minutes of Breakfast at Tiffany's. I don't think I could relive 1995 all over again. A minute into the proceedings and movie is imitation jawsing so hard that I can't tell if it's an homage, a parody, or a blatant ripoff. Since all three of those have been done to death, here's a sin for each of the possibilities.
Did you feel something?
Yeah, I feel something.
Woman says she hears, sees, feels something, and her horny boyfriend thinks it has something to do with sex, but it's not because it's a scary monster cliche.
We're having a party, man.
Is every character in this going to nonchalantly narrate all their actions? I'm getting my leg bit off, man. A shark just bit my hand, bro. Actually, I might enjoy that better. If this movie goes full dude, where's my arm? I guarantee you it's an improvement. It is said that sharks can detect wine in the water up to a mile away. That's what makes them such dangerous alcoholic predators. Harpoon X Sharkina? Also, later we find out that the lab has no real clue how the shark got out. So how did they even know the shark was gone and where it went in enough time to save these horny teens? I don't care how harpooned that shark is, there was no way these two would just be sitting in the water and not continuing to panic swim their way back onto the boat. In a slow news day, national newspapers ran with the shark almost eats teenagers story. Also, it's good to see that there's at least one firm out there helping victims deal with Pennywise the Clown.
Doctor, the $200 million I've sunk in this company is due in great part to your research.
Glad this wealthy suit could remind Susan of the exact amount of money he's sunk into the company for maximum clunkiness.
200,000 men and women develop Alzheimer's each year.
You gotta love a movie that is all about sharks eating people, trying to make its story matter by throwing Alzheimer's into it.
Give me till Monday morning, 48 hours.
Arbitrary time frame is arbitrary. But what I'm really wondering about is, why is Ronnie Cox, aka Cohagen from Total Recall, even here? He didn't get one line. It's clear Sam Jackson is the real boss here, but I guess this company is still old-fashioned and needs the appearance of an old white guy running things.
She wants to give you a big kiss. I bet. She got a damn license plate jammed in her mouth.
But you could have removed that, no? There is no way you transported her here without sedating her, so why wouldn't you take that out on the journey?
So how much do you know about our facility?
Treat me like a tourist.
That way you'll have an excuse to exposition the shit out of us. I know we talked about the license plate a minute ago, but is the whole reason why this guy jumped into a shark tank so that he could get this license plate out of its mouth? How dumb is this shit?
Bought in a pet shop in Baton Rouge. Ate everything in his fish tank, then he ate the guy that bought him.
I can't decide which are more boring and pointless. The stories these characters tell or the characters themselves.
Actually, they don't like the taste of us very much. They bite you. It's because they think you're a fat little seal.
Well, that doesn't give me much confidence. I mean, whether or not they don't like the taste of you is immaterial if they can confuse you with a seal.
You got full sentences. Usually he just kind of nods.
Can I choose a third option where he's not in the movie?
It's pretty scary stuff, huh?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I am scared. My heart is beating very fast. Shall we discuss again how scary it is?
Oh, they're going home. We run a skeleton crew on the weekend.
After a long week at work and seeing the same faces every day, I'm not buying the party atmosphere on this boat. Grumbles and mumbles seem much more likely than music and dancing.
Hey, how high are these fences off the water?
8 feet, give or take a centimeter.
I'm all for progressive unions, but you've officially gone too far when you're mixing standard English measurements with the metric system. That's just not the way God intended it.
Besides the half a mile of catwalks, you bought us titanium-based fencing around all the lagoon and pens.
Let me tell you more about the things that you already know, but the audience doesn't. There's nothing that says your movie is from 1999 more than when you see stuff like this. You know, like Saffron Burrows. When the words started flashing on the screen, I thought it was your typical movie computer data. But it turns out these are the words to an article about the brain. Either this is some 1999 webpage nonsense I don't remember, or the filmmakers made these words fly onto the screen to look cool. Why would you open this and get sent to the middle of the article?
You're the man, right?
Yeah, I'm the man.
Warner Brothers somehow advertises future Samuel L. Jackson movies 6 years in advance.
You're a nasty looking tongue, you know that?
Is LL Cool J hitting on this bird? I guess he really does need love. Are we supposed to believe that shark cannibalism is the only way to feed these monsters? Even if it was, I doubt a group of marine biologists with a deep love of animals would let it happen. Movie wastes time with a surprise birthday party when they should be deep blue seeing already. We haven't seen one human death yet, and my bloodlust is killing me. I sure hope they find that cure to Alzheimer's, though.
How's life underwater?
Well, it's a lot less complicated than it is on the surface, that's for sure.
I swear the dialogue in this movie is like passing a kidney stone. It takes forever for anyone to say anything, and when they finally do, there's so little substance to it that you can't believe how much pain it causes.
One day you'll have to tell me how you learned that.
One day he'll take me up on that beer, and maybe I will.
You can't have a shark or dinosaur movie without the movie's wrangler hitting on the hot chick in charge. At least they don't have a history, or this would be a skip.
Raise those fences like I asked.
Took care of it.
Can you not see for yourself that the fences have been raised? Or did Tom raise them so minimally that Carter can't tell?
They recognize that gun.
It's impossible.
Sigh. Did you not just say a minute ago?
By using a hormonal enhancer, we increased this female's forebrain to 5 times its normal size.
Isn't it possible that your brain testing is causing the sharks to learn new skills? Why do movie scientists always say that's impossible when they see shit right in front of their face? It's hilarious that the sharks have figured out the concept of surveillance cameras just because they have bigger brains now. And it's even funnier that they disabled the first two cameras without being seen. But on the last one of these sharks appears fully on screen to confirm that they were the ones behind it all. Just minutes ago, these sharks were smart enough to hunt together, recognize a gun, and take out cameras. But now this one attacks an empty scuba tank all alone? Apparently the shark's intelligence is on a plot-based timing system. How exactly did Carter get this giant sedated shark from where he was to here? I'm guessing they aren't exactly easy to move underwater. Also, what was the original plan to get her on this loading platform that didn't involve Carter free swimming through shark territory? He had to have some sort of plan, right? If I know my marine biology, and I'm sure I don't, shark skin is not smooth like a dolphin's, but scaly and sharp. So Swimmy Carter here should be cutting up his hand trying to pet it.
She's sleeping like a baby.
These assholes continue to underestimate how smart these sharks are, despite all the evidence, and they're scientists, which makes it worse. I'm adding 5 sins for this stupidity. I can't remember. Was it the Meisner or the Stanislavski acting technique that included reacting to everything with an over-the-top double take? Whichever it is, these actors are obviously thoroughly trained in it. There are so many hard stares in this movie, I swear Paddington is lurking somewhere nearby to teach me a heartfelt lesson.
Introducing 2 cc's of the protein complex into cultured, inactive brain neurons of an Alzheimer's patient.
God bless movie science. Just suck some cerebrum juice from the shark and plop it on a chunk of Alzheimer's brain to do a test. Who needs all those silly in-between steps, right? Oh, that's gonna leave a nasty Skarsgård. Skarsgård? Also goes to show that curing Alzheimer's costs an arm and well, at least an arm. Why is the only option a gun that's kept behind glass? Shouldn't Carter have another trank ready to go? Is this really the standard emergency procedure? Jesus, does Preacher even get to go to his quarters? This guy's in the kitchen 24/7. What's he even doing here right now? These sharks learn the concept of murder while swimming around in a tank getting bigger brains. Also, let's break down this nonsense piece by piece, shall we? First, how is Professor Selvig still alive? That breathing apparatus isn't meant for water use. He's lost a lot of blood and has been underwater at least 3 minutes. At the very least, this man should be passed the out. Second, I don't care how fast that shark is moving. You can't throw a sidelong projectile with that much surface area through water at all. As soon as Discount Bruce attempts to mouth javelin his toy through the window, it would immediately stop and sink. Third, even if that Scar's dart somehow made it to the window with full force, it's not going to crack glass built to withstand the pressure of that depth of water. And fourth, what the actual movie?
If this is a lesson about the drinking, let's just say I've learned it.
LL Cool J, comic relief? Feels like that's the only reason he's here, and why he's separated from the others, so the movie can cut to him talking to God or his parrot. It's as if the movie's plot itself and Michael Rappaport wasn't enough.
What the hell is that?
So this noise is supposed to be a shark trying to open this door? Is that what we're being led to believe here? How did the shark even know they would be here? And at this very moment, did the shark set up some sort of closed-circuit viewing system to watch their prey? You know what? In this movie, why not?
They're after us. Pretty damn obvious. We don't know what they're doing yet.
Oh, come on. You've seen more than enough evidence to know that they're actively trying to kill you and probably escape. 2 things they've already successfully done in this picture. Now, maybe you don't know what they plan to do is build nuclear weapons and invade Mars, but the short-term goal here is to kill you and escape.
Jim and I used gene therapies to increase their brain mass. As a side effect, the sharks got smarter.
How smart were the sharks before today? One escaped earlier to attack the teens, while the others sat back and kicked it in the shark tank, drinking margaritas. But as soon as Russell shows up and Susan has 48 hours to prove to him their work is going somewhere, they suddenly know they never knew before?
What you've done is knock us all the way to the bottom of the goddamn food chain.
Below rabbits? Who would have thought that 20 years later a floating playboy would make me think of politics, impeachment, and hush money instead of other stuff? LL Cool J easily outruns a super shark in water. I'm not even sure LL Cool J could outrun a shark on land. Shark POV does not include Terminator-style data flashing on the screen.
So what if the sharks get through the fence and into the ocean?
It's okay, the fence on the ocean side is titanium.
Wait, did they forget about the beginning of this movie, where one of their sharks got into the ocean, and they never figured out how? This asshole, without fail, has said something like fat butt to LL Cool J the entire movie. But now that he's climbing some shelves, he decided to be quiet until it was time to be a jump-scaring dick. If there was this much gas in the room to create an explosion, why didn't everything blow as soon as he lit the Zippo? It's at this point that LL Cool J might have considered a slight name change, although LL Heat J and LL Burn J don't quite have the ring, do they?
I wouldn't get that close if I were you. Just a suggestion.
Foreshadowing.
We're going to pull together and we're going to find a way to get out of here. First, we're going to seal off this.
Holy shit, what a great death scene. The whole movie makes Russell out to be the potential hero of this movie, because he saved some people from an avalanche. Then he's eaten, and it isn't even telegraphed. Me, this is probably all you remember about this movie. How wasn't even aware that vacuums operated on a 3-second delay for dramatic timing. Good to know. The idea that these two could close this door with this amount of water rushing in is as likely as a sarcastic YouTube channel stopping Disney from owning all of pop culture. Once again, I'm unsure of what kind of GPS these sharks are using, that they know exactly where the humans are and what they're doing. I haven't seen Supernatural chasing this ridiculous since the tornadoes went hell and hunting on Twister.
Wait, what are you doing?
Sharks break through that door. Water's gonna bring them right to us.
Blah blah blah, hero stuff, blah blah blah, scary sharks, blah blah blah, save the day, blah blah, pad the runtime.
You're big. Real big.
What's that?
The size of your brass balls.
If you're gonna tell someone they have brass balls, who goes through the trouble of saying, you're big, real big, so that the guy has to play a guessing game as to what that means? She's been bobbing in this water for a few seconds now, and somehow the super intelligent shark that has been stalking them non-stop hasn't eaten his Jan sandwich yet. It's not like there's anywhere for the shark to go. Is it taking a nap because of severe sharkolepsy?
Grab my hand! Come on!
Is there a reason why Janice can't swim over to the part of the ladder that isn't broken, climb up it, and get to where they are? Or is the movie saying the current is too strong for her to make that move? No worries, Jan. The water was rising so quickly before that, it should get you up to that ladder in no time. What's that? Oh, sorry, Jan. Apparently the laws of physics have an on and off switch that corresponds with the need for dramatic tension. Tough luck. Close-up shocked face. Close-up sad face. Close-up dumb face. Seriously, the movie is so obsessed with these continuous faces of death reaction shots, it might as well have been sponsored by Apple FaceTime. Fancy meeting... convenient meeting you here.
Jan was a healthy girl. Something in here has to run on batteries.
When most of your friends have been shark food and you're afraid for your life, I always find that a bit of my dead friend's vibrator humor is exactly the thing to bring hope back to the situation.
Sharks smell of blood.
I think it's been established that these sharks smell wine in the water, so you should be good.
One night feels like a whole week.
Einstein's theory of relativity. Grab hold of a hot pan, a second can seem like an hour. Put your hands on a hot woman, an hour can seem like a second.
Indeed! Early Einstein equations included pictures of large breasts on a chalkboard. It would later just be the m in E equals mc squared. Also, E equals mc hammer squared.
I spent 4 years at Caltech, and that's the best physics explanation I've ever heard.
Not exactly a ringing endorsement for Caltech then, is it?
We got one. There's 2 sharks left.
Thanks for the shark's position and all, but it's not as if this movie has done any work helping us understand what each of the 3 sharks were doing at any given moment. Honestly, except for the fact that one appeared to fry in the oven, they might as well all be the same shark.
Without that data, everyone dying isn't just tragic. It's useless.
Death is always useless, Doctor.
Everything in this movie they've given LL Cool J to say sounds like the type of thing you'd nod your head and smoke some more weed in agreement to. But then the next day you'd be like, damn, none of that is true at all. And everyone in the Taco Bell will be wondering what the you're yelling about. Stellan Skarsgård. Michael Rip Apart. Okay, I'm done. Also, 6 years after Jurassic Park, and this is the best we can do. This is the fakest Michael Rappaport has looked since he was Joey the Raccoon in Dr. Dolittle 2. Well, would you look at that? Preach just conveniently convenienced at the same convenient place as he convenienced before. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the rare convenient appearance double down.
Brothers never make it out of situations like this.
Situations are racist. Ah, the classic dorsal fin fake-out. Every shark movie has one, and none of them since Jaws feel original in the slightest. This is sort of the worst aspect of this movie. There are 2 sharks, but they seem to be covering impossible ground throughout the entire sea lab. And what happened to those sharks working together? Wasn't it a big deal when they noticed the sharks were in sync with each other? But they've split up since they entered the lab, and none of that has mattered at all. Movies, where attractive people's clothing is always needed for something more important than wearing. Guys, after this movie, it's going to be awfully hard to get wood if I can't see a shark getting electrocuted. In fact, I've checked the box on my eHarmony account that says, must own multiple disposable sharks for sexual purposes.
Sharks are attracted to churning water, bright colors. These extinguishers should be a distraction.
Sure, but you turned these guys all super killy Franken-Shark expert genius, remember? Why would any of the normal shark rules even apply to them?
Vest will bring up too fast. Your lungs will pop like a balloon.
You weren't the sunny kid in your class, were you?
What kind of situation do you think this is, dude? Were you expecting the Tom Jane comedy hour here? Weren't you the guy who was all business a minute ago when you said you wanted to get the f*** out of here? Maybe I'm harping too much on this comic relief character, but damn, there's a time to switch it off, and this is it.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
Surely your mouth didn't say surely there. Oh, sure, you were about to say it, but the sound guy jumped the gun in the editing.
And I'm the meanest motherfucker in the valley.
One thing I know about God is that he loves when people say motherfucker in the middle of a prayer. It shows that you're engaged, that you mean it. These sharks have torn arms off and ripped people in half with one chomp, but now they decide to just drag LL Pool J around for a while? Why the sudden need to play with their food?
He'll be okay if we can get out of here.
But didn't he lose like a human-sized pool of blood during that attack? He bled out for like a full minute.
They've been hurting us, pushing us where they want. using us to flood the facility.
Oh, they did not. The only reason the lab flooded was because the helicopter's towing cable broke off and threw Jim into the water. Then the sharks used his body to break the glass. If not for that one thing that was completely unrelated to the sharks, they would have never flooded the facility. Also, intelligence does not equal knowledge. Even if you made the sharks super intelligent, they wouldn't have the architectural, scientific, or psychological knowledge to understand even a portion of the things they needed to know to execute that plan.
About freedom, about the deep blue sea.
Roll credits.
From up here, you ought to be able to see me spirit. When I do, you take this end of this cable, hook it up to the positive side of the boat battery, and boom.
Sounds like you've been thinking about this long before you ever had to do it. You're a sick Carter. Oh, that's like 7 years bad tetanus. Also, Hollywood's been doing fake blood for almost a century now. You'd think they could do better than this cherry pie filling nonsense. That's the second time a ladder's broken during this movie. Russell Franklin invested a ton in this facility, but one place where he cheaped out was ladder safety. Did that shark just roar underwater? Wait a minute. Did Preacher know the plan about the harpoon and the battery? Wasn't he out of earshot and sleeping during that conversation? Or is he a kook who also knows a lot about blowing up sharks with harpoon battery combos? Some incredibly lucky bullshit allows Carter to free himself with a harpoon and keep it lodged in the shark somehow. I don't know if Carter could survive this, but I'm sinning it anyway. Also, I don't even have the energy anymore to dissect the science of wet water battery, conductive flare, gunpowder, or giant shark explosions. Shark goes boom. Can I go home now?
Deepest, bluest, my hat is like a shark's fin.
Deepest, bluest, my hat is like a shark's fin. Live by these words, gents.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
That's good. Intervention!
Now, I don't know exactly when we turned on each other. I just know that 7 of us survived the slide, and only 5 made it out.
I know what people taste like. I know that babies taste best.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip.
Shark still looks fake.
Just keep swimming.